Okay, so this is video number two. I realized in video number one, rather than going back and editing it, I'm just going to sneak it in here. I realized in video number one that I did not demonstrate um, the uh, destroying and re-importing workflow of our importer. So let me do that. The This is the scene. Um, the the tree of objects that we get from Toon Boom is here. Although this is mixed in, I should say it's influenced by, because this is not. This also includes our decorators, the controllers, and these are placeholder references. They're called prefabs. But these are not the actual assets. They're placeholders for the assets where the artwork gets plugged in. So this resembles the tree that we would get from Toon Boom because the hierarchy is the same, but it's not the actual tree that we get from Toon Boom. So let me demonstrate what happens. So we have this kitchen unpacker. Let's see, sandbox here. This is not release. No, this is sandbox. Okay, so we have in sandbox we have the kitchen unpacker, which is basically the home for the controllers for the importers that we have per scene. So this kitchen zip is the file we get from Toon Boom. This unpacker is just a dummy object with a controller attached to it. They call them behaviors, whatever. It's a behavior attached to it that allows us to manipulate the scene or the files. So when I nuke it all, oh, save the sound effects. All right, so you can see that the tree is still here and in the scene. All of the the decorators that I was talking about earlier that control the assets are still here. They operate on the the placeholder assets, not the assets themselves. So when the Toon Boom assets are destroyed, the code, the environment, the scaffolding remains intact. So the game will still operate. You just can't see it. Okay. So now what we do is, let's say we got a new zip file. Yay. We unpack it. You can fast forward through this if you like. It doesn't take long though. So this gives us some prefabs, which are basically this is an artifact that Toon Boom's importer produces. We had to borrow some of their code here, and then what we do next is we disassemble their tree. And it looks ugly. And that's because now all of the assets are independent. They no longer share this singular center node anchor that they can all derive their position from. No, now they're floating in random space, but you can see that the assets have been fulfilled. Yay. Okay, why does it look so ugly? Well, that's because they're not positioned properly, both in terms of z-axis and xy, and it's the z which is causing us to not see a lot of the stuff because the background is in front of stuff. So all right, let's keep fixing. So the next part is, now that we've disassembled all of the entities in the scene to be individuals, we can now process the animations, extracting them from what Toon Boom had given us and then apply them back to the individual entities themselves. So now each entity is the owner of its animation rather than the scene being the owner of its children's animations, which makes no sense. So, all right, it looks ugly, but I assure you that's okay, because when we click sync, it pulls it all back into proper location, because what that's doing is it sync literally relates all of the asset positions back into the positions of these placeholders, and so it just kind of snaps back in place. And then we do align Z, and I will show you what that is later. Ta-da! Okay, so that was a quickie add-on to the first video I wanted to show about how the importer works. So it's very convenient because, you know, we're getting an updated tree of assets from Toon Boom, from the creative side, you know, regularly. And so it's nice to be able to just click a few buttons and pull it back all in, rather than having to, you know, hey, let's queue up the asset changes for a week. Meanwhile, the designers are complaining, hey, when do we get to see our stuff? You know, hold on, we'll do it later because it's so painful to do. No, now it's nice and smooth. So all the pain goes away, and we can iterate fast and just pull it in the 10 times a day and get the latest and greatest. All right. Anyway, I'm talking too much. See you in the next video.